everybody, welcome to Midweek. Have you ever, or did you ever remember a lesson you received on grammar or English that has just changed your life? I do. Mrs. Henry, she was the teacher, and she taught me about prepositions. Now, you might think prepositions aren't all that big, but let me tell you what, when I grasped something grammatically, I was pretty excited. And I'll never forget this. She said, a preposition is anything that a squirrel can do to a log. It can go over, it can go under, it can go through, it can go around. I want to talk to you today about prepositions. No, it's not going to be a grammar lesson. It's going to be a Bible lesson. The word Emmanuel, we know as God with us. Romans 8, my favorite chapter in the Bible, I think. I'm now declaring it. I think it's my favorite. Talks about this passage says God is for us. And if God is for us, whoever can be against us? Well, I want to talk about those two prepositions, with and for. Remember when Jesus was born? We tend to kind of romanticize it a little bit. You know, it's like he was born in a manger and all of things were just peaceful that night. And, shepherds came in and later the wise men. To be honest with you, we need to do our homework. It was a mess. They had immigration issues. They had religious issues. They had political issues. The Romans were in charge. They were barbaric. They were just pure barbaric. And so, candidly, people like Mary and Joseph, they were voiceless. They had no power. They were poor as dirt. And the inflation, if you will, merchants were under these heavy, heavy tax burdens. The Middle East was really, that whole area was one of the most dangerous places in the world. Of all the places God said, I'm going to go to earth, that time and in that place may have been one of the worst. It really was. It was dangerous, let alone for God to come as a baby. Emmanuel, God with us. Not only was it a time of great tension politically, economically, it was brutal. But remember, God hadn't spoken in 400 years. No prophets. The people were adrift. The people of God probably felt forgotten, wondering, where is God? No, when Jesus came to earth, that was not a good time. It was not a serene pastoral place. It was harsh. And Christ comes into that place, and there's a breakthrough. Every year, when this season comes, it always again comes back to me at the level of risk that God is willing to take to send his son into that kind of an environment. To a teenager, a less than reputable, if you will, story of marriage. No, they were the talk of the town. There wasn't a thing about Christ's entrance into this world that was pastoral and serene and peaceful. Jesus came to a woman supernaturally. Joseph had to be told supernaturally to stay with his soon-to-be wife. And God comes. A breakthrough. Not in an easy time. A really difficult time. When you look at the news, people hear about the same thing today. The Middle East is difficult, and the war, and the difficulty and the war in Ukraine, and in Venezuela, the invasion there, and some of the difficulties that's going on there with Guyana. And I wonder if we don't look at that and think of how horrible today is. Just listening to a gentleman talking about, or kind of trying to adjust to, today is just not the way in this country as when he was raised. It's true. Absolutely. I would agree with him. And yet we can begin to look at our day and disparage it compared to this beautiful, romantic time when Christ came. And the reality is, no, they're both really difficult times, pregnant for the option or for the opportunity of a breakthrough. Emmanuel. One of the things that I hope we can do this year, that you will do, is not only remind yourself of Emmanuel, God with us initially, but God with us today. And what does it mean that God is with us? But also Romans takes it at another level. It says if God is for us, and presumption is he is, who can be against us? If God is for us, and Paul writes in this text and he tells us that we are this inclusive group of people whom God is saying, not only am I with you, but I'm for you. I want your success. I delight in you. I am working on your behalf. I am going before you. I know what it means when I tell my kids, I'm for you. I know what it means when I tell a friend, I am for you. It means you get my support. It means I've got your back. It means I'm going to take my resources and I'm going to pour them into you. When I tell a person, I'm for you, it means I'm about their best interest. I'm about their success. I'm about their future. I'm about helping them in the present. We need a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is not your and my ingenuity and creativity and genius. Maybe it's the same breakthrough that the nation of Israel needed when Christ came. Emmanuel, God with us and God for us. What does it mean for you and me this Christmas season to remind ourselves that the God of the universe, the one who named all the stars, the one who creatively brought all of this earth and world into existence, the one who raised Jesus Christ from the dead, says, I'm for you. I'm for you this Christmas. I'm for you. I see you. I hear the hurt in your heart, or I see the difficulty of your children, and I see the decisions they make, and I'm for you. And sometimes we might feel just like the Israelites prior to Christ coming, like the heavens have sealed up, and God's not speaking, and God's not alive, and we can get a little bit of despondency and discouragement. We need a breakthrough, just like the nation of Israel needed 2,000 years ago. And that breakthrough for us today is the same as it was for them. Emmanuel, God is with us, and God is for us. I want you to look, if you would, just for a few moments over the next maybe couple of days or weeks, and go to Romans chapter 8 and 30 and 31 and following, where it says, what can separate us from the love of God? What can change and alter the predestined work of God? Not a thing. Because if God's for us, who can ever be against us? In other words, if the force of God's almighty strength is for us, is there a power? Is there a person? Is there an event that has the power to overthrow, to alter God's purposes in your life? It's not. So I want to encourage you, take whatever you're facing. We're challenged right now with my mom's memory fading difficulty. I'm going to apply that. God is for us. That means we're not in this alone. We're facing other challenges just like you. I'm going to be with some families, and they're facing huge challenges. And my encouragement to them is my encouragement to you. We need a breakthrough. And that breakthrough today is the same breakthrough that came 2,000 years ago. Emmanuel, God with us and God for us. He may come in many ways disguised like he did with Jesus. But I believe him. I believe God for you, that he loves you, and that he is going to strengthen you. And this could be the best year you've ever experienced. I want you to memorize that passage. I want you to put it into your heart. And I want this year to be for you a breakthrough year where you apply, you live, and you believe that if God is for me, there is not a power, there is not a person that can derail the purposes of God for my life. God is for you. Hold on to that. Pray that into your heart. Tattoo that into your mind, and you'll have a breakthrough year. This Thursday night, Capital Christian is going to be having a Christmas program. I hope you can come. 6:30. It's welcome. You're welcome. It's open to all. And it's this Thursday at 6:30. And then we have the weekend services, Saturday night and Sunday this weekend. And then Sunday night, we have our orchestra going to be playing. We're going to be celebrating Christmas. And I hope you can join us for that one too. That's Sunday night, the 17th. And that's going to be at 6 o'clock. I hope you have an incredible week. Don't forget your prepositions. Whatever a squirrel can do to a log, over, under, through, well, those are nice ones. But the one I want you to remember is with and for. God is with you, and God is for you. And because of that, you're going to have a breakthrough year. I trust and pray that you'll believe that. I love you. Have a great day.